رأينا خير الإسلام دينا أدلنا الله.
So at 6:30 on that dreadful black Saturday morning, the 7th of October, we were awoken by a red siren alert. And my daughter and her husband and the baby was 10 days old, baby Kai, their bedroom was the mamad, was the safe room. And I was in the spare room and she called me, "Mum, come to the room." So in my pyjamas, and it's summer, well, it was warm, so little pyjamas. I went to the room and I was laughing and joking, I was in their bed, on their bed, and I was saying, I'm in bed with my daughter and her husband, it was really good, because that's the sort of person I was. And then we started to hear shooting outside the house, and Arabic. My daughter, she had a house security camera set up to watch the cats and the dog when she's not there, but she accessed it on her phone. And she said they're trying to get in, the terrorists are trying to get in. And then the camera went off and the electricity was shut. And they tried to get into the mamad room. I didn't know that you couldn't lock the door of a mamad. But Amy and Uriel did know. And they were holding that handle in an upright position in order to stop the terrorists from opening the door. While they were holding the handle of the door, I was trying to keep the baby quiet. I put my finger in the baby's mouth for him to suckle. And when the terrorists couldn't get in, although I believe they did manage to get the door open just a little bit, when they couldn't get in, it seems that they took furniture and put it by the other side of the door, and they set fire to the house. And the rooms filled up with smoke, and I then sent messages to some friends that we are going to die. But I really thought we were going to die, because we were breathing in, our throats were sore, we were breathing in smoke, we were coughing. Didn't think anybody could get out of that. But then we heard my little dog scream, and we presumed he was burning to death. And I tried to put my fingers in my ears, but I could still hear him. And I don't know how long he was screaming. I don't know if it was 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. I have no timeline whatsoever. After that, I now know it was 6 hours after the fire started. It was 8 hours after our ordeal began that we heard Hebrew outside the window. But even then, you don't know who is speaking Hebrew. I mean, the whole time there was shooting and Arabic, and Amy was opening the still window this much and saying, "Mum, open your eyes, Mum, come and get air," putting the baby up to the window, throwing the baby back on the bed, closing the window when she thought the terrorists were near. And they did this many times, which saved our lives. The only way to save the baby from dying in Uriel's arms was to open the window and take their chance, which is what they did. And ultimately, Kai's parents saved his life and mine. But when we heard the Hebrew outside the window, and we weren't sure, but then somebody called Uriel.
אוריאל, כן. כן, אנחנו פה.
And then we knew we were going to be saved. Yeah, the baby was in hospital for 3 days on oxygen. Uriel and Amy stayed with them, and every time they were released, they were rehospitalized for coughing and bronchitis, and their eyes were burned. Baby needs to have some checks in a couple of months, heart checks, and things, but he's growing and he's eating and he's big and happy and smiling and laughing. He's the reason I believe they fought so hard to survive. If it wasn't for Kai, perhaps none of us would be here. I'm not working, I can't work, I'm not able to focus or concentrate. I'm just not the same me. I struggle a lot with, it could have been us, it could have been us. And I know I'm supposed to say, aren't we lucky we got out, we're survivors, and I know that. But, you know, you can't rewire the way that your brain works. And I think of us as being, could have been any one of those. And a very big problem I have is, if Hamas had have got to us, if they had have opened the door, or we decided instead of dying in the room, we'll get out the window, and what would they have done with us? Would they have shot the baby in front of us? Would they beheaded the baby, as they did with so many babies? Would they have raped us? Would they have kidnapped us? Would they have shot us? Would they have shot one in front of the other? These pictures and thoughts run through my mind 24/7. I'm a mess. I'm not the same Deborah. I'm not the same person anymore.